know that our parents' era would be the last era in that cadre. By the time we are parents, we are the ones that would be our children through technology, because right now, technology has become so saturated that you have to dictate what your child gets to see or not. You have to censor. So it's the other way around. Right now, we are the ones teaching our parents how to use their phones, how to access the internet, how to do a lot of stuff. But in our generation, from a statistics point of view, we have to be the ones teaching them, because there are a lot of things on the media, and it is now the sole responsibility of the parent to doctor and to streamline what the child gets to see. So the internet is available for everyone, and I know that there is a myth. When we hear technology, we think about high-end things. We think about mobile app creation. We think about website creation. We think about AI. Yes, this is a level of technology, but I put it to you that right now, whether you like it or not, you are already using technology. I am speaking, I am being displayed over there. That is technology. Some years back, you could not do that. All right? So technology right now is bypassing what you would call traditional barriers. When ATMs came into the country, it was something we've never seen before. ATMs, you put your card in the machine and you get money. It was as if we saw gold for the first time. But now, I don't think people go to the ATMs every day to withdraw money, because that your neighbor, who probably has just one shop, has a device in hand called the POS, point of sale, and you can withdraw money. That is to tell you the evolution of technology. Now, I said I was going to be talking about statistics basically, because during the course of this speech, I will be provoking your thoughts. I'll be provoking actions, so that you don't just learn about what technology has to offer or what it doesn't have to offer, but rather you look at technology from a standpoint of value and from a standpoint of being a tool you can use to change your world. Now, I started by saying that technology is changing the mode of work. Now, from a statistics point of view, by 2030, there will be 170 million jobs. Can you jam your hands? Because of the emergence of technology, such as AI and other stuff, there will be 170 million jobs. But there is also a down part to it, because in that 2030, there will be 92 million jobs displaced, because there will be some jobs that would no longer be adding value to that era because of the presence of technology. It means that right now, you have to put yourself positionally at a place of advantage, so that when that time comes, you can be employed. Let me share a story. You know, I once had who I would call a godfather. It was my dad's friend. And I'm talking about some 15 years ago. And then he had proficiency in Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint. And I told you my parents were teachers, right? In the whole educational district, it was the only one that Lagos State was contracting the job of cumulating results for. Why? Because all he knew was Excel, PowerPoint, and Microsoft. But I'm sure that more than 80% of the people here now can conveniently operate Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. That is to tell you the emergence. When I was about 15, I left secondary school, and the thing that was happening then was, learn coding, which I learned. They said coding was the next big thing. If you learn coding, you are a scarce commodity. Everybody in the world will be looking for you. But I put it to you now that in some secondary schools, you will see students that are already proficient in these coding languages. That is to tell you that in the technological world, we don't just stop at learning. Our fathers and our grandparents lived at an era where if you go to school and come out as a graduate, you might be the only graduate in the community. You can literally be a king for going to grade 2. But right now we are in an era whereby you can board a bike, and in your conversation with the bike man, he will tell you about his days in school. Our forefathers were in an era where you could learn something and stop just at learning it. But we are in an era where you have to keep learning something every day. And that is what is going to be my bone of contention for you, that skills will be changing. I know this is not the first tech talk you're hearing in your life. I'm sure you might have had one skill or the other, but you must evolve around the world, or else you would be left behind. You must revolve around the world. Do you know a lot of people now don't use proofreaders? I'm sure our mommies will understand the concept of proofreading. Probably you want to write an article, you want to write a journal, and there are some people whose job description was to just proofread and point out your errors. But do you know, in 2025 now, you do not necessarily need a human being to help you proofread your articles because of error. There are a lot of AI tools that can do that. Now the question is, what happened to the man who has built 30 years of his life on a career of proofreading? Now, he has value, but he doesn't have value enough for this generation. Am I making sense? If I'm making sense, say yes. So, the point I'm driving at is that with technology, you have to keep evolving, because there are new devices, there are new problems, there are new solutions, and if 70% of the Nigerian population are youths, it means that it is we, the youths, that will solve these problems. Let's do a run-through about your digital life today. We have mobile access, we have online learning. You know, life is just so beautiful now. Because if you speak to the older ones and you hear their struggles to learn a skill, some of them finished secondary school and they were going to a cyber cafe physically for months or possibly for years while they are waiting for the admission to learn how to operate the computer. But we are in a generation whereby children, part of a child's kit is tablets. So a 5-year-old child now can pick up your phone, go to YouTube, and play a show he wants to watch. That is to tell you that even in the most minimum level, there is mobile access for everyone. Almost everyone here has access to smartphones. Almost everyone here has access to online learning. Even cooking, you can learn cooking on YouTube. You can learn makeup on YouTube. You can learn literally anything on YouTube. That is to tell you that we are a generation that have been put in a place. So, education doesn't end at the four walls of schools. I know we are students. Our spare time should be used to learn things online. Take online courses. Some are free. Some are absolutely free. Some are going for ridiculous prices. And these are places where you could learn courses that you can build a whole career on. There are educational apps. We have Google. There is virtual tutoring. Now, if you want to further your education, before, when you want to do your masters, you literally, especially when you want to do your masters abroad, you have to leave your father's house, your mother's house, and travel to a land that is unknown just because you want to learn. But now, do you know people stay in Nigeria and do their masters from anywhere in the world because of technology? So you have to map out a learning journey for yourself. What interests you? Don't go with the crowd. First of all, you will think you have excuses, whereas you don't. Growing up, I did not do anything outside of schooling. I did not learn a skill as a teenager. I did not learn a vocation as a teenager because I thought that I did not come from a rich background. Because I thought that I was not born with a silver spoon. But do you realize that it was when I was an adult, I realized that I had a computer at 10. What did I do with my computer? I was playing games. Because nobody told me, nobody mentored me into thinking that what I had at my dispensation could add value to me. All right. So I'm going to be giving you some case studies. I said I'm going to be talking from statistics. I'm going to be giving you some case studies of teenagers and young Nigerians that have done something by themselves with the help of technology. I'm going to start by mentioning Pleasant Balogun, who was a 17-year-old guy to create an airtime payment platform. I'm going to also mention an 18-year-old Clinton Imaro, who was a Nigerian teenager that created a digital gift card service. We had a 17-year-old Olayinka Jonathan, who created a crypto payment service. And we had a 20-year-old Emmanuel Njoku, the founder of LaserPay, which is a crypto payment gateway. Now, to create a balance to it, when we talk about technology, first of all, I'm of the opinion that there is a pandemic of fintechs in Nigeria. So when we talk about technology, the first thing that comes to an average youth's mind is fintech, a payment platform, or whatnot. But do you know we have immediate problems? We have immediate problems in healthcare. Do you know you can work on a solution where you can create solutions for remote doctor consultations or health informations? Do you know we have environmental problems you could solve with technology? Waste management apps, recycling organizations. We have agricultural problems. Do you know you can create a solution to teach people languages? And all your app would do is connect students to language experts to learn various languages, Nigerian languages, from the comfort of their homes. So when we talk about technology, it doesn't have to be the high-end fintech or the high-end AI tool. It could be solving your immediate needs. So you can brainstorm. In your school, you can found a tech club where you get to brainstorm about a community solution. It could be about education. It could be about traffic. Now, I want to direct a question to the adults. Can the adults get my attention? Now, for those of us that drive, you would agree with me now that it is easier driving with a traffic light that shows the amount of seconds it will take from red to green than before, where you just have to wait indefinitely. That was the solution. Before, when you were in the traffic light and it is red, you will just be there. You don't know when it's going to be green. But someone thought about the idea of putting a timer to it. And despite the fact that the person did not necessarily innovate anything new, it solved our problems. So when I approach a traffic light and I see 100 seconds, I know that I have to wait 100. I can possibly even put off my car before moving. So you can create a group of tech-oriented persons in your school to provide solutions within the environment. It doesn't have to be anything large or anything high-end. So you have to build your digital skills and you have to be vocal about it. Some of you are so good at some things, but nobody knows. The next person behind you doesn't know that you do it. So the people you see on top of the world, they are not necessarily the best persons in that field. They were just the boldest people. And one thing I want to tell you is that God, the world, and even people favor the boldest people. So you have to break barriers in tech. You are in a generation where your gender is no longer a barrier. You are in a generation where your tribe is no longer a barrier. I said it earlier that you can be in Nigeria and work in anywhere in the world as long as you have the skills fit to it. So this is not just a session to educate you. This is a session to provoke you into taking action. So you have to learn, you have to connect with people, you have to create, and you have to collaborate. 100% of a million naira is way less than 10% of a billion naira. So Nigerians, we have this mentality where we want to own everything we are building. You have to collaborate with people to expand your reach. So say after me, learn, connect, create, and share. Thank you so much.
Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, can we give another warm applause to Precious Allah for the keynote speech for this Future Leaders Assembly 2025. If you know that from today you will begin to take bold steps in the technology space in Nigeria and across borders into the global space, shout and echo, I can. If you know that you will begin trainings and you pay attention more in your schools and you're having classes on tech, trainings, codings, and all of that, echo one more time and say, I will. Thank you, young and brilliant leaders. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for us to begin proceedings for the Dare Adeboye Foundation, Ogun State Secondary Schools, Model United Nations General Assembly, with the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Now, I would like us to know that this is not just a simulation of the Model United Nations, but it is an avenue, a platform for every young person here to learn about international relations, build public speaking skills, negotiation skills, and of course, see how we can make impact as young people. We have officials here to spearhead and to oversee the proceedings for this General Assembly. The rapporteur is here seated, Mr. Adeleke Andrew. We have the Secretary General of the Model United Nations for the Dare Adeboye Ogun State Secondary Schools 2025, Ms. Kazim Testimony. We have Madam President of this General Assembly 2025, Jehovah Tosin Agbabiaka. I will now yield the floor to Madam President and the Secretary General of this General Assembly to continue the proceedings for this assembly. Thank you.
Madam President, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, welcome to the first General Assembly of the Ogun State Model United Nations. I now officially declare the session open. The theme for our deliberation is Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment.
We shall now adopt the agenda of the first General Assembly. Will the delegates please move the motion? The delegates of Croatia, please move the motion.
I hereby move the motion for the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you. Will another delegate kindly move the motion? Delegate of Denmark, please second the motion.
I hereby second the motion for the adoption of the agenda.
The agenda is hereby adopted. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to welcome you all to the first session of the Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly. I thank you for the trust you have placed in me to serve as the president of this body. We gather here, representing the voices and hopes of young people from all corners of the world. At a time of shared challenges and profound global change, our unity and resolve are more essential than ever. Today, we debate on a theme that touches our present and shapes the future. Technology and innovation for youth empowerment. We live in a world being reshaped by artificial intelligence, digital tools, and frontier technologies. Yet, amid this transformation, we must ask, are our youths being equipped to lead? Or are they being left behind? Youths are not just the future, they are the change makers of today. From startups in Lagos and Nairobi, to tech innovations in Jakarta, London and beyond. Young minds are redefining leadership in the digital era. But innovation without access is exclusion. Technology without purpose is noise. Our mission today is not just to celebrate progress, but to ensure that it is inclusive, equitable, and accessible. Every young person, regardless of background or geography, must have the opportunity not only to use technology, but to create with it, shape it, and lead through it. Let us debate boldly, collaborate creatively, and remember, innovation is most powerful when it lifts others. Thank you. I now declare this session open. We shall now proceed to roll call. When your country is called, please respond with present or present and voting. Will the repertoire please start?
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay. Delegates from Rwanda.
Present and voting.
Delegates from China.
Present and voting.
Delegates from South Africa.
Present and voting.
Delegates from India.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Egypt.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Japan.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Kenya.
Present and voting.
Delegates from South Korea.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Ghana.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Indonesia.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Nigeria.
Present and voting.
Delegates from United States of America.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Ethiopia.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Bangladesh.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Morocco.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Vietnam.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Senegal.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Philippines.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Uganda.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Malaysia.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Algeria.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Saudi Arabia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Tunisia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from United Arab Emirates.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Tanzania.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Israel.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Botswana.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Iran.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Angola. Delegates from Qatar.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Namibia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Kazakhstan.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Zambia.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Thailand.
Present and voting.
Delegates from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Present and voting.
Delegates from Singapore.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Cote d'Ivoire. Delegate from Sri Lanka.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Malawi.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Jordan.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Pakistan.
Present and voting.
Delegate from United Kingdom.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Canada. Delegate from France.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Brazil.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Germany.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Mexico.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Italy.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Argentina.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Spain.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Colombia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Netherlands.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Chile.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Sweden.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Peru.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Norway.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Venezuela.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Finland.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Cuba.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Poland.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Jamaica.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Switzerland.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Trinidad and Tobago.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Belgium.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Haiti.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Australia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Dominican Republic.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Ireland.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Ecuador.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Portugal.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Uruguay.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Denmark.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Bolivia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Greece.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Guatemala.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Czech Republic.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Honduras.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Romania.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Papua New Guinea. Delegate from Hungary.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Samoa.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Ukraine.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Solomon Island.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Russia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Vanuatu.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Serbia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Barbados.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Bulgaria.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Croatia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Bahamas.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Panama.
Present and voting.
Delegate from St. Lucia. Delegate from Australia.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Grenada.
Present and voting.
Delegate from New Zealand. Delegate from Antigua and Barbuda.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Maldives. Delegate from Fiji.
Present and voting.
Delegate from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Present and voting.
Delegate from Belize.
Present and voting.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, highly esteemed members of the board, honorable members of the educational sector of Ogun State, distinguished delegates, brilliant and beautiful ladies and gentlemen. At this point, we would like to specially recognize some people, some unique personalities in our midst, in no particular order. The first person I'd like to recognize, before I even say the name, I'd like you to please rise to your feet and recognize this person. I would crave your indulgence, please, because last year I was here as the host, the person was here, and the person is a symbol to me of power, love, care, and so much more. The wife of Pastor Dare Adeboye, none other than Pastor Mrs. Temi Adeboye. Thank you so much, Ma. It is an honor to have you in our midst. Thank you, thank you, thank you. While you're still standing, because what you do for one, you do for all, I'd like us to recognize the presence again of Dr. Mrs. Akinola Okira for MO. I'd also like us to acknowledge the presence of the MD, CEO, Premium Trust Bank, in person of Pastor Emmanuel Emefianen. You're very much welcome, sir. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd also like us to acknowledge the presence of Pastor Adeolu Adeboye. Pastor Adeolu Adeboye is the elder brother of Pastor Dare Adeboye and a board member of the Dare Adeboye Foundation. Thank you very much. One more time for every dignitary present. Let's give a warm applause and welcome everyone. Thank you. Please be seated. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I hereby yield the floor back to Madam President of the General Assembly. Thank you.
We shall now adopt a motion to allocate 2 minutes per speaker. Will the delegate of Bulgaria kindly move the motion? Thank you. Will the delegate of Russia second the motion? Motion carried. Speaking time is hereby set at 2 minutes per delegate. We shall now adopt a motion to allocate 2 minutes per speaker. Will the delegate of Bulgaria kindly move the motion?
I move the motion that each delegate be allotted 2 minutes per speech.
Thank you. Will the delegate of Russia second the motion?
I second the motion.
Motion carried. Speaking time is hereby set at 2 minutes per delegate. The floor is now open. Will the delegate of Rwanda open the floor?
Your Excellency, Madam President of 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Rwanda rises to contribute to the discussion on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Rwanda is a nation reborn through innovation. Our youth are leading the charge in drone technology, digital health and smart governance. Kigali Innovation City and the Rwanda Coding Academy are just 2 examples of our commitment to a digital future. But for every youth with a laptop, there are many without. Digital inclusion remains an urgent task. Rwanda urges this assembly to support grassroots tech education, scale up broadband infrastructure, and invest in programs that build the digital gender divide. Let our continent not be left behind. Let our youth lead Africa forward, digitally, sustainably, and boldly. The delegate of Rwanda uses the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Will the delegate from China?
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of China rises to present a position on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In China, innovation is at the heart of our nation's strategy. Our youth is at the forefront of advancement in artificial intelligence, green tech, and e-commerce. With platforms like Alibaba and Bijou inspiring millions, Chinese youth are reshaping global industries. However, we recognize the challenges in equitable access to these opportunities, especially in rural provinces. China believes in strengthening STEM education, providing mentorship for young innovators, and enhancing international cooperation in research and development. We advocate for cross-border incubators, scholarships, and technology exchanges that allow all youth, regardless of geography, to participate in building the future. The youth must not only consume innovation, they must drive it. The delegates of China use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you too. Can each delegate from each country please stand when presenting their speech? So will the delegate of South Africa continue?
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of South Africa rises to present a position on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In South Africa, we believe that the energy of our youth, combined with the power of technology, holds the key to inclusive growth. From Cape Town to Johannesburg, young South Africans are coding solutions, building startups, and reimagining our economy. Our government has launched initiatives like the Youth Employment Service, YES, and the Digital Skills for Jobs campaign to increase access to each training and job opportunities. Yet, millions remain on the margin, especially in rural and undeserved communities. South Africa calls on this assembly to prioritize digital equity across Africa through policies that ensure affordable internet, support women in STEM, and invest in youth innovation labs. Let us not just give young people devices, let us give them platforms to build the future. The delegate of South Africa yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate from India.
Your Excellency, Madam President, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of India is honored to address the theme, Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Technology and innovation in India is a land of youthful potential. From Bangalore to Delhi, our youth are coding solutions, creating platforms like Zomato and Ola, and reshaping fintech, edtech, and health tech sectors. Yet, millions still face barriers to quality digital education and connectivity. India calls for global cooperation to expand digital infrastructure and also, especially in rural regions, and the integration of vocational tech programs into schools curricula. We believe in Digital India, global impact. Let us ensure innovation becomes not a privilege of the few, but a right for all. The delegate of India use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate from Egypt.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Egypt rises to address the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In the land of pyramids, a new generation is building digital monuments. Egypt's youths are creating AI solutions, fintech startups, and groundbreaking health tech. Through initiatives like Egypt Makes Electronics and Digital Egypt Builders, while equipping our youth with the tools to thrive in the fourth industrial revolution. However, disparities in access to technology and limited funding for grassroots innovation still hold back many brilliant minds. Egypt urges this assembly to support intercontinental tech scholarships, startup incubators, and policies that promote open access to digital education for all youth. The spirit of innovation is not foreign in Africa. It is our legacy. Let us make it our future. The delegate of Egypt use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate of Japan.
Your Excellency, Madam President, honorable delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Japan addresses this assembly on the subject, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Japan's youth are building on a legacy of robotics, automation, and precision engineering. From Tokyo Tech startups to high school AI clubs, young minds are driving the next generation of progress. However, an aging population and urban area divide present unique challenges. Japan emphasizes inclusive policies that promote youth engagement in science and technology, greater access to coding education, and support for female innovators. We advocate for youth-led research exchanges and ethical innovations program globally. Empowering youth means giving them not only tools, but trust. The debate of Japan use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate of Kenya.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Kenya rises to speak on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Kenya, the Silicon Savannah of Africa, is proud of its vibrant ecosystem where young minds power solutions like M-Pesa, Ushahidi, and Twiga Foods. Our youth are turning problems into platforms and dreams into digital realities. Yet, challenges persist. Youth in remote regions still lack access to quality tech education and reliable connectivity. Kenya calls on this assembly to champion cross-border digital infrastructure, youth-friendly innovation policies, and continental coding academics. Let us empower our youth not just to consume innovation, but to create it for Africa by Africa. The delegate of Kenya yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate of South Korea.
Your Excellency, Madam President, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of South Korea is honored to address this assembly on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. South Korea is a global leader in internet connectivity, robotics, and digital innovation. Our youth are developing smart city solutions, powering global K-Tech, and building apps that shape pop culture and communication. Yet, we recognize the need for more equitable tech opportunities across all demographics. South Korea believes in nurturing youth through digital literacy, inclusive education, and government-funded innovation programs. We encourage international youth hackathons, collaborative platforms, and mentorships that help young minds to turn simple ideas into tech-powered businesses and impactful enterprises. Because when a nation invests in the mind of its youth, it turns crises into codes and struggles into strength. So, let the youth lead boldly and not just follow swiftly. The delegate of South Korea hereby yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really nice. The delegate of Ghana.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of China rises to speak on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Ghanaian youth are seasoned in the digital age with passion. With Accra emerging as a tech hub, young innovators are crafting fintech, edtech, and agri-tech solutions that are changing lives. Initiatives such as Ghana Tech Lab and the Youth Employment Agency's digital training programs are helping close the digital gap. Still, many of our young citizens face barriers, limited devices, inadequate training, and few investment opportunities. Ghana calls for a continental tech innovation fund, increased public-private partnerships, and digital rights policies that safeguard youth creativity. Africa's transformation lies in its youth, bold, brilliant, and digitally driven. The delegate of Ghana yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate of Indonesia.
Your Excellency, Madam President, distinguished delegate, ladies and gentlemen. The delegate of Indonesia rises to speak on technology and innovation for youth empowerment. In Indonesia, young innovators are transforming agriculture, fintech, and health sectors with mobile-based solutions. Startups like Kojek began with youth-led ideas that now serve millions across Southeast Asia. However, many youth across our archipelago still lack access to consistent internet and STEM education. Indonesia calls for stronger investment in rural connectivity, local innovation hubs, and global cooperation that gives youth people the digital tools they need. We support climate-conscious innovation and tech entrepreneurship among youth. When empowered, youth do not just adopt, they revolutionize. The delegate of Indonesia yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate of Nigeria.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the Ogun State 2025 Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Nigeria rises to present a position paper on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In Nigeria, our youth are our greatest asset. They are building businesses, launching apps, and leading conversation in technology from Lagos to Kaduna. Companies like Floater Waves and Paystack, started by young Nigerians, are now transforming Africa's digital economy. But despite our success, many young Nigerians are still lacking access to basic digital tools, internet connectivity, and training. Without action, we risk leaving millions of Nigerian youths behind. Nigerian believes that every young person deserve access to digital literacy, STEM education, and space where they can innovate. We call on this assembly to support investment in rural internet, tech hub, and international partnership that provide training and funding for young-driven innovation. Let us empower young people, not just using technology, but leading it. The future is ahead of us. It is already being built by the youth of today. The delegates of Nigeria use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the delegates from Nigeria. The delegates are from United States of America.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The delegates of the United States rises to address the theme, technology and innovation for youth empowerment. In the United States, innovation is driven by the energy of our youth, from Silicon Valley to emerging tech hubs in Texas and beyond. American youths are developing AI, leading climate tech solutions, and reshaping the future through platforms like code.org and Girls Who Code. However, challenges remain on the South communities, especially youths of colors and rural populations, still face barriers to access and participation in tech innovation. The United States advocates for global cooperation in ensuring equitable access to STEM education, promoting inclusion in tech ecosystem, and expanding mentorship and accelerator programs for youth entrepreneurs. We believe empowered youth build stronger, democratic, and more resilient economics. Let's ensure no voice is left behind of the digital revolution. The delegates of the United States of America use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Ethiopia.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Ethiopia rises to address the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Ethiopia's young generation is rich in ideas, resilience, and potential, from Addis Ababa's tech startups to rural solar tech initiatives. Our youth are sowing seeds of innovation through projects like Digital Ethiopia 2025. We are laying the groundwork for a tech-powered future. But large segments of our youth, especially in rural areas, still lacks access to tech tools and training. Ethiopia calls on this assembly to prioritize digital inclusion, empower local edtech solutions, and facilitate mentorship programs connecting African youth to global networks. Let us not underestimate the fire of creativity burning in Africa's youth. It only needs the right fool. The delegate of Ethiopia yields the floor.
Thank you. The delegate from Bangladesh.
Your Excellency, Madam President, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The delegates of Bangladesh addresses this General Assembly on the theme Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. From mobile banking to climate tech youth in Bangladesh are designing solutions that respond to the need of our growing economy. Digital platforms like Portal are testaments of the ingenuity of our young people. However, access to training, infrastructure, and investments remains limited to many. Bangladesh calls for regional innovation funds, greater emphasis on coding in schools, and youth-focused tech partnerships that bridge gaps between education and entrepreneurship. The future belongs to those we prepare today. Let us invest in youth-led innovations now. The delegates of Bangladesh yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate from Morocco.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model Edition United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The delegate of Morocco rises to contribute to the dialogue on technology and innovation for youth empowerment. Morocco's youth are powering smart cities, clean energy startups, and groundbreaking fintech solutions. With the Morocco Digital Strategy and National Coding Programs, we are nurturing innovation from Rabat to Casablanca. Yet, access to digital resources remains uneven across regions, and many talented youth still face funding and mentorship challenges. Morocco processes a Pan-Africa Digital Innovation Summit, shared e-learning platform, and regional funding pools for the youth-led projects. Let us build a digital united Africa where no dream is limited by bandwidth or borders. The delegate of Morocco yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Vietnam.
Your Excellency, Madam President, esteemed delegates, the delegate of Vietnam rises to present its petition, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Vietnamese youth are powering a digital revolution in Southeast Asia, financing, contributing to fintech, education apps, and smart agricultures. Government investments in park and STEAM education has sparked a new era of possibility. However, disparities still exist between urban and rural areas to these opportunities. Vietnam supports community-based innovation program, public-private tech education partnership, and international fellowship for young inventors. Innovation should not be the privilege of the few, but the potential of the many. The delegate of Vietnam yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate from Senegal.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Senegal rises to address the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In Senegal, our youth are building digital futures in education, agriculture, and health. The Smart Senegal program and the Digital Senegal Strategy 2025 are accelerating this vision. Our young people are ready, but many lack access to coding education, startup capital, and stable internet. Senegal calls for robust continental efforts to provide coding boot camps, youth
tech challenges, and innovation funding across all member states. Africa's youth are not just participants in development, they are its architects. The delegates of Senegal yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Philippines.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The delegate of the Philippines is honored to contribute to the dialogue on technology and innovation for youth empowerment. Our young people are creating digital solutions for education, healthcare, and social justice. From the rise of the BPOs to homegrown startups, Filipino youth are a driving force in the digital economy. But still, many face unequal access to connectivity, especially in remote islands. The Philippines advocates for universal broadband, open source educational tools, and youth accelerators that give ideas the space to grow. Let's bridge the digital divide and empower youth to code their future. The delegate of the Philippines is the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Uganda.
Your Excellency, Madam President of 2025 Model United States General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Uganda rises to address the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In Uganda, over 73% of our youth are below the age of 30. Ugandan youth are forging paths in technology, from mobile health solutions to blockchain-based agriculture, with programs like the National Information Communication Technology Innovation Hub and the Digital Ugandan Vision 2040. Also, the digital skilling initiatives. We are witnessing a youth-led technological awakening. But challenges persist. Limited internet access is also one of these challenges. In Uganda, though the penetration of mobile phone is high, with a percentage of 69.2%, only 20% of the Ugandan youth are able to use the internet every day or a few times a week. Furthermore, we also have a shortage of digital training in schools. Uganda urged this assembly to promote affordable internet, youth innovation contest, and inclusive science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education, which is also known as STEM, tailored to Africa's realities. Let us not merely prepare the youth for the future, but also prepare the future for the youth. The delegate of Uganda yields the floor.
Thank you. The delegates from Malaysia.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Malaysia rises to present a paper and address the General Assembly on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Malaysia is a Southeast Asian country known for its diverse culture and breathtaking natural beauty. Malaysia as a country believes in our youth and their ongoing efforts to empower these young ones, aligning them with the government's goals of social system enhancement and economic growth. Malaysia youth are revolutionizing digital banking, e-commerce, and green energy. With the government support innovation ecosystems like Miranti and Midec, the government is believing and empowering our young minds. But still, challenges persist, like access to technical education, access to internet devices and modern devices, and also financially youth leads. But the delegates of Malaysia and on behalf of Malaysia beseech United Nations organizations to help provide innovation scholarships, help to improve the stronger cooperation in regional societies, and also help to improve the policies that can help youth to benefit from this technical advancement. Thank you very much, and the delegates of Malaysia use the floor.
Thank you very much to the delegates from Malaysia. The delegates from Algeria.
Your Excellency,
Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The delegate of Algeria rises to present a position paper on the theme Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In Algeria, we believe that youth are the architect of national progress. Across Algiers, Orange, and Constantine, young Algerians are developing mobile applications, engaging in AI research, and joining tech incubators to build solutions to local challenges. The government has launched programs like the Algiers Startups Fund and Innovation Hubs to support young entrepreneurs. However, challenges persist, especially in ensuring equal access to technology in rural areas and bridging the digital divide. Algeria urges this assembly to champion policies that make digital literacy and innovation training available to all youth, regardless of geography or gender. We also advocate for cross-border partnership to enhance access to resources and mentorship for young innovators across Africa. Let us build a future where no young person is left behind in digital revolution. The delegate of Algeria used the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate from Saudi Arabia.
Your Excellency, Madam President, distinguished delegates, the delegates of Saudi Arabia is honored to address the Assembly on Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Under Vision 2030, Saudi youth are leading digital transformation, from smart city development in NEOM to AI-driven health innovations. The kingdom is nurturing a vibrant startup culture with youth at the center. Still, we recognize the need for deeper engagement, especially for young women and underserved communities. Saudi Arabia advocates for expanded tech education, international coding, exchanges, and innovation fund for youth-led projects. Let us not just imagine a future shaped by youth, but invest in it deliberately. The delegates of Saudi Arabia use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegate from Tunisia.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The delegate of Tunisia rises to address the Assembly on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Tunisia is proud to be at the forefront of tech innovation in North Africa. Our youth are building startups, leading in fintech, and driving digital transformation. From the Tunisian Startup Act, launched at 2018, to our digital economy strategies, we are investing in young minds. But the journey is far from complete. Many youth in underserved regions still lack access to affordable internet, digital devices, and structured tech education. Tunisia believes that innovation thrives in conclusion. We call on this assembly to support initiatives that provide affordable tech infrastructure, strengthen school to start up pipelines, and create regional platforms for youth-led innovation exchange. Let us invest not only in roads and bridges, but in minds and dreams. Let us empower our youth. Let us embrace innovation, shaping a Tunisia that is not surviving, but thriving. The delegates of Tunisia use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from United Arab Emirates.
Your Excellency, Madam President, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of the United Arab Emirates is privileged to speak on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In the UAE, our youth are pioneering the future, from launching satellites to building AI-powered solutions. Initiatives like the Youth Hub and the UAE Coders Program have created spaces for innovation to thrive. We believe in inclusive innovation, where every person has the tools to dream and build.
The UAE calls for stronger global youth collaborations, mentorship ecosystems, and accessible STEM education for all. The youth are not tomorrow's leaders. They are today's disruptors. The delegate of the UAE yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Tanzania.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The delegates of Tanzania rises to contribute discourse on technology and innovation in youth empowerment. In Tanzania, our youths are the heartbeat of change, from launching mobile health apps in Dodoma and building e-commerce platform in Dar es Salaam. We have seen remarkable growth in the tech sector, driven by young innovators. However, disparities in access to education, digital tools, and connectivity remains obstacles for many of our rural, low-income youths. Tanzania advocates for regional cooperation to support digital infrastructure, teacher training ICTs, and innovation labs in secondary schools and universities. We must bridge the gap between talent and opportunity. Empowering our youths with technology is not optional. It is essential for sustainable development. As I step down from this podium, I implore the world to come together to create an innovative and prestigious society in Tanzania where youths are vast in technology and there is economic growth. By empowering our youths to unlock their potentials and build an advanced technological space where every youth in Tanzania is literate. The delegate of Tanzania yields the floor.
Thank you. The delegates from Israel.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Israel addressed the Assembly on technology and innovation for youth empowerment, known as the Startup Nation. Israel youth are creating breakthrough in cyber security, clean tech, and digital health. From university labs to garage startups, young minds are building global solutions. However, inclusion remains in goals. We must ensure all youth, regardless of background, can participate. Israel supports global innovation fellowships, peace through tech programs, and inclusive STEM training. Let innovation become a shared pathway to progress. Youth innovation is not just about invention, it is about impact. The delegate of Israel yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Botswana.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Botswana rises to present Botswana's position on technology and innovation for youth empowerment. In Botswana, we are witnessing a rise in digital entrepreneurship among young people. Through government initiatives such as Botswana Innovation Hubs and partnership with global tech firms, we are nurturing homegrown talent. Yet, we face the challenge of integrating tech education in early schooling and ensuring digital tools reach every village and community. Botswana urges the Assembly to prioritize equitable access to tech infrastructure, upskilling program for youth, and innovation-focused funding mechanisms. Let us raise a generation that not only adapts to technology, but redefines it. The delegate of Botswana yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Iran.
Your Excellency, Madam President, honorable delegates, the delegate of the Islamic Republic of Iran is pleased to contribute to the discussion on technology and innovation for youth empowerment. Iran youth are excelling in nanotechnologies, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy solutions. University and innovation parks are driving a new wave of tech-led growth. However, many young Iranians face barriers in accessing global platforms and resources. Iranian call for scientific diplomacy, youth-to-youth knowledge exchange, and regional innovation initiatives that promote cooperation and sustainable development. Let us turn competition into collaboration to empower our youth to innovate across borders. The delegate of Iran use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Angola. The delegates from Qatar.
Your Excellency, Madam President, distinguished delegates, esteemed guests. The delegate of Qatar rise to speak on the topic which the theme says technology and innovation of youth for youth empowerment. Qatar is investing highly in education and innovation through initiatives like Qatar Foundation and the QSTP, which is the Qatar Science and Technology Park. Youth are creating startups involving in global research and leading sustainability solutions. Still, we must continue building an inclusive ecosystem that leaves no youth behind. Qatar supports youth-led tech entrepreneurship, innovation incubators, and regional recognition of scalable youth projects. Qatar investments in technology and innovation has become a powerful engine for youth empowerment. Let's youth not be seen as just as learners, but as the digital era. The delegate of Qatar uses the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Namibia.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Namibia rises to speak on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Namibia's youth are driving change, especially in agricultural tech, renewable energy, and digital education. We are proud to initiatives like the Namibia Student Financial Assistance Funds that support innovation in higher education. However, we face digital inequality and a need for stronger rural tech access. Namibia's access for international support in expanding digital training centers, improving youth access to broadlands, and investing in youth-led green tech solutions. Empowered youth equals a sustainable and inclusive Africa. The delegate of Namibia use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The delegates from Kazakhstan.
Your Excellency, Madam President, honorable delegates, the delegate of Kazakhstan presents his position on technology and innovation for youth empowerment. Kazakhstan's youth are turning Central Asia into a digital hub. From fintech startups to agri-tech platforms, our young innovators are building the future of our region. However, rural areas still face barriers to access and opportunities. Kazakhstan calls for greater investment in digital education, youth innovation grants, and cross-border tech accelerators. Let us work together to make technology a bridge, not a barrier. The future is already taking shape in the minds and hands of our youth. The delegate of Kazakhstan use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Zambia.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Zambia rises to speak on the importance of technology and innovation for youth empowerment. In Zambia, young people are designing solutions to local problems, from edtech platforms to energy innovations. Our government is promoting STEM education and expanding ICT access in public schools. Still, many youths face barriers like high data costs, poor infrastructure, and limited mentorship. Zambia calls on this assembly to support the creation of regional tech mentorship networks, subsidize internet access, and innovation competitions for youth. Honorable delegates, youth empowerment is a smart investment in our shared future. Let us work together to ensure that every youth in Zambia and beyond has the tools to lead and shape a better world. The digital future belongs to those who prepare for it today. The delegates of Zambia yields the floor.
Thank you very much. The delegates from Thailand.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The delegate of Thailand addresses this General Assembly on technology and innovation for youth empowerment. Thailand's technology sector has been experiencing significant growth, driven by government initiatives like Thailand 4.0 and increasing digitalization. Over 40% of our population is under 30, and our youth are at the forefront of driving transformation. Thai youth are driving digital tourism, mobile fintech, and climate-resilient agriculture. From Bangkok startup scenes to rural innovation hubs, our young people are igniting change. Yet, challenges remain in equal access to digital training and entrepreneurship resources. Thailand supports innovation bootcamps, regional youth think tanks, and inclusive tech education starting from the school level. Youth are not just adapting to the digital age, they are defining it. The delegate of Thailand used the floor, Kop Kun, which means thank you in Thai.
Thank you. The delegate from Democratic Republic of Congo.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegates of the Democratic Republic of Congo rises to address this assembly on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In DRC is a land filled with human and natural resources. Our youth are resilient and creative, always finding ways to improve even in challenging environments. From coding clubs in Kinshasa to agri-tech in Goma, the spark of innovation is very much alive. Yet, the digital divide remains very wide. Access to power, internet, and technical training are limited for many. We call on this assembly to support scalable models for tech education, community innovation hubs, and investment in mobile tech infrastructure. When we empower our youth, we empower our nation. The delegates of the Democratic Republic of Congo yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Singapore.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Singapore is honored to speak on the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Singapore's youth are designing smart nation solutions, AI systems, and fintech innovations that lead global trends. With policies that nurture talent and early education to entrepreneurship, innovation thrives. But as we lead, we should also lift. Singapore calls for global digital mentorship networks, accessible coding programs, and inclusive innovation policies to support underserved communities. In Singapore, despite its technological advancement, it lacks equal access for the entire youth population. The UN can assist and support programs that enable the youth to learn more of technological resources. Let's nurture every youth, regardless of origin, so that they can lead with technology. The delegate of Singapore yields the floor. As a Singaporean youth to say, Zay Zay, which means thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Côte d'Ivoire. The delegates from Sri Lanka.
Your Excellency, Madam President, honorable delegates, the delegates of Sri Lanka rises to address this assembly on technology and innovation for youth empowerment. Our young people are building digital solutions for education, agriculture, and disaster response. Innovation hubs like Trace City are turning Colombo into a South Asian tech hub, but rural connectivity and lack of access to global platforms remain concerns. Sri Lanka supports regional collaboration on youth innovation, digital training for rural youth, and scholarship that bridge opportunity gaps. Let's empower our youth not just to join the global economy, but to shape it. Delegates of Sri Lanka use the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Malawi.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegates of Malawi rise to address the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. In Malawi, young innovators are using solar powers, mobile apps, and drones to tackle challenges in agriculture, education, and healthcare. We recommend national efforts to integrate ICT in school and support digital learning. Yet, many youth still lack access to computer, reliable electricity, and modern tech training. Malawi calls for greater investment in rural innovation programs, public-private tech collaboration, and youth inclusion in policy making on digital development. Innovation is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. Let us equip our youth to lead. The delegate of Malawi yields the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegates from Jordan.
Your Excellency, Madam President of the 2025 Ogun State Model United Nations General Assembly, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the delegate of Jordan rises to address the theme, Technology and Innovation for Youth Empowerment. Jordan is a country with limited natural resources, but unlimited human potential, especially among our youth. With over half of our population under 30, we see technology as the key to unlocking opportunity. We've launched initiatives like the OSIS 500 and TechWorks to train young Jordanians in coding, robotics, and entrepreneurship. Yet, challenges like unemployment, limited internet access, and lack of funding still hold many back, including youth in refugee communities. However, Madam President, we request the United Nations additional support to amplify our youth empowerment initiatives. Jordan urges all nations to treat technology access as a right, not a luxury. Let us invest in digital infrastructures, education, and youth-led innovation. When we empower youth with technology, we empower peace, progress, and possibility. The delegate of Jordan use the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all countries, for participating in this speech. We may now yield the floor.
Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, It is such a delight again to see young people stand for causes that have affected nations. It is heartwarming to see that young people can make a stand for the countries they are representing as delegates. And wherever you are in this auditorium, I'd like you